gets you down and you're feeling lonely, when you can't find your truth or find your center, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we love each other, and the scars that we see just make us stronger. We breathe it in together, we'll hold you up with grace. We know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. When life gets you down, you can't see the future. When it all seems too much for you to handle, there are many here who gather together. Oh, unconditionally, we pray together, and the hurt that you feel will be set free. We breathe it in together, we'll hold you up with grace. We know that love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. Love lives here in you and me. Love lives here. My soul breaks free. I'm so excited to be united with you. Where love lives, where love lives. Love lives here.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. I am Reverend Jeffrey Ryan, and it is my distinct honor and pleasure to serve this beloved community right here where we know that love lives here. So it is already December, so welcome. See the festivities that we have here at the house, all set for us to celebrate this month and to celebrate the close of this year. And because it is the beginning of the month, then I want to make sure that we say happy birthday to all the birthday babies in the month of December, the December birthday babies. I see a few on here. I see my mom's on here. I see a few others here. And I also want to acknowledge all the anniversaries that we have happening this month in December. So congratulations if you are celebrating an anniversary. So good morning, Anita. Good morning, Pat. Hey, Laura. Good morning. Hi, Allison. Hi, Earl and Denise. Great to see you. Good morning, my love. I see you. You're sitting on the sofa. Hey, Anita. Wonderful. Great to see all of you. Good morning, Neil. Absolutely. As you come online and you share where you're watching us from. I know that the Williams family is up in Northern California this weekend. So it is great to have all of you with us. And as you are coming in, make sure that you start a watch party. If you're watching us on Facebook, use the hashtag WeAreCSL and hashtag LoveLivesHere. And so I invite all of you just to come on in. Hey, Helen's birthday is this week. Wonderful. Thank you, Frank. Good morning, Frank. Happy birthday, Helen. So wonderful to see all of you as you're coming on in. Come on in, grab your coffee, sit down on your couch, get nice and comfy, or your desk chair, wherever you're at, get nice and comfy as we roll into the month of December, already December. So here we go. Jabel, it's time to celebrate.
Hi, everybody. We need some celebration, right? I love it that it's December. This is Celebrate. Sing along. There is a light inside of your sister, and I don't know if you know there's a light. A light that is so bright. Just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of your brother, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. light. Just thought I'd tell you there is a love inside of your heart. And I don't know if you know there's a love that is so strong. Just thought I'd tell you there is a strength inside of your soul. And I don't know if you know there's a strength inside of your soul. Just thought I'd tell you there was a power inside of your own. And I don't know if you know there's a power inside of your soul. It's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. Celebrate. Let's do it again. Celebrate. 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 There's a light inside of the soul. And I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. Just thought I'd tell you there is a light inside of the soul. And I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. And it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate. There is a light inside of the soul, and I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. It's time to celebrate. We're gonna just slow it down a little bit. We are one, we are one, we are all one in God. We are love, we are love, we are all the love of God. Beauty surrounds me, falling at my feet. I hear the calling of the Holy One in me. We are whole, we are whole, we are all the wholeness of God. We are strength, we are strength, we are all the strength of God. Beauty surrounds me, falling at my feet, as I hear the calling of the Holy One in me. We are made, we are made, we are all made of God. We are one, we are one, we are all one in God. We are, we are, we are, we are, we are, we are.
Good morning. I'm Constance, Stringfellow, one of the licensed spiritual practitioners here at the Riverside Center for Spiritual Living. I invite you to close your eyes if this is comfortable for you, and let's go within. Taking in a deep, intentional breath, breathing in love and breathing out love. Consciously allow yourself to connect to this one power, which is greater than all of us. This one power, one mind, one life, one presence, one love is perfect and whole. I call it God. In the silence, allow yourself to receive clarity. Take time to go into the silence and become very still. Stilling your thoughts, where outside interruptions no longer are concerned. In the silence is where Spirit speaks to us in an inaudible language that your whole self, mind, body, and spirit understands. In the silence, you find the inner realization of God's presence, and it's ever available. You'll find guidance, unshakable confidence. We find our oneness with God. We discover serenity, faith, and strength. We discover peace of mind and the joy to do the things that it's ours to do. I'm totally one with this mind of God, this life of God. And as I know this true for me, I know it's true for everyone, everywhere. I know that we honor this divine connection with everyone, including the animals, the environment, and all of nature. I bless this connection with Spirit. We're all connected. Let's make a concerted effort to maintain peace and love, to express kindness and respect. And let's honor this divine connection. I'm so grateful. I bless our minister today. I know that he's peace, poise, and confidence. And he is a clear conduit for God's light to shine through. Has a powerful message for us today. I bless our church family and everyone listening. And I know that this service unfolds in perfect divine order. And I just let it be so. And so it is.
This is called In the Silence. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world filled with chaos and noise, I awake in the precious moments when I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God. I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release. From a world filled with chaos and noise, I awake in
these precious moments when I hear all that I could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find God. I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. I awake to these precious moments, and I hear all that could ever be said, and right here in this holy silence, I find God. I find God. I find myself.
Thank you, Jabel. And thank you, Constance. I'm sorry for some of the distortion that was happening during Constance's prayer, the electronic distortion that was happening. But I could feel her prayer still, knowing that it was grounded, knowing that it was fully moving us into the silence, into that lovely song by Jack Fowler. So thank you, Jabel. So before we get started, as we always do at this time in our time together, let us focus on our focus statement. Let us come together united in our focus statement. I really want you to breathe this in and allow this focus statement to really emerge from the silence of your soul, from the depths of your soul. Allow it just to come forth from that holy silence. So here we are. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. Breathe that in again. We embolden people to live their highest potential through the transformative power of love. So here at Centers for Spiritual Living Worldwide for this year, we have been working with the theme of 2020 Spiritual Vision. And this month, we are working with the theme of celebrating divine truth. And today, we are taking a pause here, and we are using the song that you just heard as a basis for our discussion, as a basis for our spiritual practice this morning. I first heard that song, probably back in 2009. Yeah, Ed's shaking his head, yes. Back in 2009, when I first started attending Center for Spiritual Living, Greater Las Vegas, and that just the way it starts off with, just the a cappella and just the spaciousness of it and just how the piano just lightly comes in. It is something that touched me, touched the depths of my soul right away. And I was hearing, wow, there is such spiritual truth in this. There is such spiritual power in this, just to listen to it. And so it starts off with, in the silence, there is peace. In the silence, there is peace. And what we know is that this peace is the peace that passes all understanding. That is the peace that Jack Fowler is writing about. It is the peace that passes all understanding. It is not my peace. It is my peace, not the peace that the world gives. It is my peace, meaning the spirit peace. It is the peace of spirit, the peace of the divine that is found in the silence. It is an eternal and everlasting peace that rests, the peace that comes over us when we open and allow it, when we don't turn to the peace of the world, when we're not looking for peace in the world, when we're not looking for peace as people or man or mankind or humankind could give us, possibly, as peace being the limited version of that there is no war, that there is no strife, that we would be looking to governments or institutions to provide us respite from conflict. It is not that peace, because that peace is temporal. That peace passes, because that peace is dependent on human beings behaving. That peace is dependent on human beings getting along, trying to get along, and putting all of their little egos aside. And we know with what we see out in the world that is really difficult for us to do. I don't know about you, but Costco this time of year is not a peaceful place for me, right? It's just not, right? And so there is the hubbub, and there is the rush and the movement, and there is distraction. And so the peace that we're talking about here in the silence of that song, the peace that's ever available to us is in the silence, is the peace of the one. The peace that passes all understanding, the peace that transcends all, is all, through all. It is that stillness, it is that silence from which sound, from which life emerges. It is that still point, that center of creation. It is that peace. And so we allow the peace to wash over us as we sit in the silence and listen. And Jack Fowler goes on to say, in the silence, there is unspoken joy. There's unspoken joy. It is that unspeakable joy of spirit. It is that bliss, if you will. It is that holy union, that holy communion, that holy conscious union with the one. And when we enter into that in the silence, when we enter into that, there is no word that could come. There are no words that could come that could even begin to describe that level of peace, that level of joy, that level of freedom, that level of absolute bliss. It is what is called a numinous experience, a divine experience, where our inner light just begins to radiate and shine, and a slight smile comes to our lips. It is that joy that we have with an internal hallelujah. It is that joy, that peace. And he goes further and says, and there's a release from the world full of chaos and noise. There's a release from the world of chaos and noise, and in that there is freedom. There is freedom that we are no longer distracted by the things of appearance, by the things out here, that we are not distracted, that we are not tempted, that we are not called to try to pay attention to this, to believe in two rather than one, that we are being released from the world full of chaos, the world full of noise, and we are freed in recognizing that there is a divine order, there is a divine power, there is a divine presence, there is a divine harmony, a divine balance that we find in the silence, that we find within ourselves. In the silence, I find God. In the silence, I find myself. It's really interesting this time of year, I think, when you think about it, or when I think about it, that this time of year, this December time, this time of coming into and going into the darkness as we approach the winter solstice, that this is a time when it is an opportunity for us to really turn within and to be introspective and to get quiet and to get still and to reflect on our lives and to reflect on our relationships and to reflect on the year, perhaps. It is a time to turn within and cozy up and be nurtured and nurture those embryonic ideas that may be wanting to come forth. The small ideas, those things that we have in the back of our head, and it's an opportunity to acknowledge that which has already been. But really, it is a quiet time. It is to be a reflective time. If we follow the flow of nature in the northern hemisphere, which is the hemisphere in which we live in, if we follow the nature of that, then this is a time of going within. This is a time of quieting. This is a time of bringing all of the juices or all of the sap of the tree back into the trunk. It's a time of releasing things that no longer serve us. It's a time of letting things go. It's a time of turning within and centering and grounding and deepening our roots further into the earth, further into our greater understanding of the divine. It's a time to turn within. And yet in our world, the way we've created it now, it's a time of being busy. It is a time of artificial light. It is a time of running helter and skelter. It's a time of this chaos, really, and noise and stimulus, and a time that we are frequently called and asked to, when we look out in the world, to focus on the material, focus on what can I give, what can I get, to focus on external things, external traditions. It's the way that our society is kind of moved. And so there is this weird paradox that is kind of happening within us, that this is supposed to be a time of joy, that this is supposed to be a time of love, that this is supposed to be a time of quietude. And yet at the same time, there is this outward external focus that we have that is noisy and distracting, which is in direct competition with what we're being asked to do, which is being asked to be silent, being asked to be quiet, being asked to go into the stillness, into the silence. And so that stirs up this chaotic energy because we're at loggerheads with ourselves. We're going against our very nature. We're going against the very cycle. We're going against the very rhythm of life itself. So this year, what if we do it a little bit differently? This year has been a different year all the way around, hasn't it? It really has. From March on, it has been a completely different world. The holidays that we've experienced, the life events that we've experienced have been very different than what they have been in the past. And so once again, we are looking at something very different, perhaps, than what we've experienced in the past. We are invited, and we've been invited. That has been the gift of this year. We have been invited, and we are continuing to be invited to let go of those things that no longer serve, to release our old ways of thinking, to free ourselves from our limitation, to free ourselves from the old belief systems that we've held that have brought us to where we are. We have the opportunity to release them and let them go. And it is in the clinging to the old, it is wanting to go back to the way things were. It is in that clinging that we are experiencing suffering, that we are experiencing pain, that we are experiencing discontent, that we are experiencing this mental disconnect, if you will. Because we are trying to live in the past, and so we are not really experiencing the present, and we are trying to project into the future, and so we're not experiencing the present. We are hoping that the past becomes the future, and that's not possible. So this year, what if we really honored the season? Because the season is the reason for the season. What if we really honored what is being asked of us, what we are being invited to? The caterpillar, when it goes into its cocoon, completely turns to goo, right? Before it emerges as the butterfly. But at no point is the caterpillar in the cocoon thinking, oh, I wish I were back to being a caterpillar. Oh, I long for the traditions of being a caterpillar, of munching on leaves in the summertime with my friends, right? Of gathering and just hanging out and, climbing up the stalks and climbing up the stems of plants. It's not longing for what was. It's fully present in the moment, allowing itself to be transformed, allowing its life to be transcended, allowing itself to be transmuted into something even greater. This year has been an opportunity for us to do that, and it continues to be so. In case you aren't aware, Southern California, we are now back as of 11:59 this evening. We are now back under what is now the regional stay-at-home order, which is very similar to the order that was initially issued back in March. So I invite you to go and check out California, go and check the COVID site for california.gov to learn more details. However, we have gone back, or actually we've moved forward into another time of sheltering in grace. So this year, I really invite us, as we are sheltering in grace, to take advantage of this time. We've been given this time, even more so now, in the height of our holiday season, to really turn within, to go within, to listen to the Spirit within, to listen to the still small voice. It's hard to hear the still small voice when we're distracted by everything that's going on out here. We're being invited once again to really turn and listen. Listen, listen, listen to my heart song. Listen to the silence. Allow the still small voice within to emerge, to speak, to impart its wisdom, to impart its love, to impart its guidance. What we are being called to do, what we're being asked to do, is we're being asked to surrender. And I know for some people that is a hard word, but we are being asked to surrender. We're being asked to allow. We're being asked to trust. We are being asked to have faith. What is it that we have our faith in? Do we have faith in the world of effect, or do we have the faith of God? And the way that we come to realize what it is and recognize it is by turning it within, by listening. So a couple of weeks ago, I shared with you a practice of looking up, a practice of looking up, right? To see rightly, to see justly, to see above the world of effect, and to see as Spirit sees, to see the oneness, to see the wholeness, to see the allness and the fullness of the divine. And in so doing, we create a vacuum and we open out a way through which Spirit moves into the world and we change the world. Today, we're going to do another practice, and this is a practice of listening. So I invite you, if you choose, to lift your eyes and keep them open. And then let's open your ears. Let's open our ears. And so wherever you're sitting in this moment, with your eyes slightly up, perhaps, or if you prefer, go ahead and close your eyes, whichever is more comfortable for you. What I invite you to do is I invite you to begin to listen to the room around you. just take note of the bird outside, Oliver shaking his head, the lawnmower outside perhaps, the hum of the refrigerator, the ticking of the clock, the sound of your beloved shifting on the sofa. Just notice the sounds. Don't try and block them out. Just become aware of them. And now begin to shift your awareness to the silence beneath the sound, the silence behind it. Listen for the quietude, the stillness. Listen. In the silence, there's peace, unspoken joy, freedom. And now listen for the still small voice within you. What word or phrase or message does it have for you this day? In the silence, we find God. In the silence, we find ourselves. And so as you move through this December and the remainder of the year, stop, look up, and listen. And so it is. And so let's come together in consciousness. I recognize here and now that there is only one power, one presence, one life, one love, one infinite, eternal. And this one is the word that emerges from the silence within itself, that brings forth all of creation, all of life. It is the one word spoken that speaks me, that lives me, that expresses in, through, and as me, in, through, and as my life. I live, move, breathe, and have my being in it. I too emerge from the silence. It is in the silence that I recognize my oneness with wisdom, with peace, with joy, with harmony, with the power, the divine power that is all power. And as I know that this is true of myself, I know that this is true of everyone present here this day. I know that this is true of all of life, of all of creation. Each one is one. The one breath, the one life, alive, at peace, in joy, in freedom. And so I speak my word here for this beloved community, that as we move into the month of December, as we move into this quiet time, that we take the time to release those things that no longer serve. We take the time to set aside the busyness of the year, set aside the busyness of the time, that knowing that it is incompatible with what we are being called to do, what we are being called to be, which is silent, which is available. And so we release the busyness of the world. We release the busyness of life as we know it here in this realm. And we open to the greater life, the one life, the all life. And we allow ourselves to be guided by it. We open up and create the space, the spaciousness through which spirit moves into the world of form, through which spirit moves into life itself, through which spirit heals, reveals, loves, expresses. We do this now. And we are divinely guided throughout the entire process because we have listened. We open ourselves, we open our inner ear, and we hear the wisdom of the one, knowing that we are divinely guided, knowing that we are divinely guarded, knowing that we are divinely directed. We can never make any mistake. For all is whole, all is perfect, and we simply allow ourselves to walk, to do the work of the one, to allow the one to do the work, its work through us. So we surrender, we open, we listen. We see rightly, we hear justly. And so I give thanks for this time together. I give thanks for this knowing. I give thanks for the openness of this community. I give thanks for the love of this community as it continues to wash over the region, as it continues to wash over Riverside, as it continues to wash over all of the lives that it touches. Give thanks for the beauty and the perfection that comes from within the silence. And we wait. We wait in service to the one. That I release this word, knowing it is fulfilled, and so it is.
It's not in trying, but in trusting. It's not in running, but in resting. It's not in wondering, but in praying. That we find the strength of the one.
myself to wait. I am waiting. I'll allow myself to wait. The sky is dark, days are cold. It's the time of year to go deep inside and know that the light will come again. But for now I rest and I listen. I am waiting. Allow myself to wait. I am waiting. Allow myself to wait. Allow myself to stop. I'll allow myself to rest. My life's been moving way too fast. Need to stop and take a breath to see what my heart wants me to do. So for now, I rest and I listen. I am waiting. Allow myself to wait. I am waiting. Allow myself to wait. Allow myself to stop. Allow myself to rest. Allow myself.
Thank you, Jabal. Beautiful. So now we have the opportunity to come together in community and to continue to support this beloved community, the community that we love so much. And we do this through conscious contribution. So the easiest way to do that is via text. So if you get out your cell phone, I know you've got it handy right there by you. I know you do. So it's simple and easy to text to give. Simply text 951-419-5858. And it's just like texting a friend. So just type in the amount you want to contribute and then hit send. And it's that easy. You can also contribute on our website. If you go to the website, riversidecsl.org, up in the right-hand corner, you will see the word contribute, and you can contribute right there. Don't forget that we also have the Two or More Fund that you can contribute to. This helps maintain our building. We still have maintenance at the building. So even though we are meeting virtually or we're meeting online right now, we still have maintenance at the building. The easiest way to do that also is via text to give. Simply type in the amount, $25, and then hit more, for example. So $25, and then type the word more following the amount, and that goes straight to Buildings and Grounds for the Two or More Fund. So thank you so much for all of your continued generous contributions. I want to let you know that all 25 of our youth from Olive Crest, that we have supplied all 25 of them with wonderful Christmas gifts, and that is also thanks to your generosity. So thank you so much for the love and the support that you continue to show Riverside Center for Spiritual Living and the ministry and the work that we do in the world. So thank you. And I know that something wonderful continues to happen through all of us and through our community. So let's sing about it, Jabal.
Okay, let's sing about it. You guys can sing along with me. It's easy. Something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now.
wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. This love inside, we can let it shine. Oh, something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Wonderful.
Thank you. Excellent. So before we hop over to Zoom for our Beyond the Message, where we have an opportunity to come together and talk about the practice that we experienced today, or talk about the message, so we'll go beyond the message on Zoom. And that Zoom ID number is 249 395-737. It's scrolling on the bottom of your screen. 249-395-737, and then the passcode is 92501. So before we do that, we do have a few announcements to share with you. The first announcement is this Wednesday, live, Reverend Victoria, Jubel, and I will be bringing you a Blue Holiday service. So we recognize that sometimes this year is challenging for folks to be kind of in a celebratory mood for whatever reason. And this year, particularly 2020, it seems like it's kind of been an entire year of the longest night of the year for some folks. And so we wanted to really honor that. And so we're going to honor this time and honor what we're feeling and come together in community to support one another. And so that is the Blue Holiday service. That'll be Wednesday at 9 o'clock. It was Wednesday, December 9th at 7 p.m. Pacific. And we'll be live streaming it, just as we are live streaming this morning on Facebook and on YouTube. So we have some candle lighting, some readings, and some beautiful music. And we have a time for community prayer that will be happening on Wednesday. So please join us for the Blue Holiday service. And then next week, Sunday, is Reverend Lee's Celebration of Life. That will be Sunday, December 13th at 2 p.m. on Zoom. To find the Zoom link, you can go to our Facebook page, and there is the event, the Reverend Lee's Celebration of Life event, and you'll find the details for the Zoom link in that event. And also, if you are on our mailing list, then you received a special mailing on Friday, a special email on Friday with the link in that. So there's a couple places there for you, and we will be putting it up on our website, riversidecsl.org, later today or tomorrow morning, so that you'll be able to access it that way as well. Next week, we also have our Eagle Scout project, and volunteers are appreciated to come and help out. We are building a small landscaping wall at the center that runs along by where the sign is, along the driveway there into the parking lot. And so Grant DeVries is working on this. This is his Eagle Scout project, and we appreciate any volunteers. So you can sign up on our website. It's really easy to find there. And again, if you are on our mailing list, you will have received the link to that in our Connect this week. So make sure that you sign up for that. There's plenty of different times that you could come out and help out. It will be socially distanced and masked. So keeping everybody safe as we're working together as a community to help a young man out and also to beautify our campus. And then finally, to share with you this morning, we have our animal grief support service happening on Thursday, December 17th at 4 p.m. Pacific via Zoom. So once again, that is animal grief support service, Thursday, December 17th, 4 p.m. via Zoom. And again, you can find the link on our website, riversidecsl.org. And Jeannie Kataoka will be facilitating that as usual, per usual. So thank you, Jeannie, for that. So lots of opportunities. There's a few more opportunities to come together in support of one another and to come together in celebration, but we'll tell you more about that next week. So repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it and I receive it because love lives here. I love you. Peace and blessings.
Love you guys. Sing along with me. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as the creator, with our family. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my song of vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Love you all. Happy December. See you next week.
Love